Hi Tessa, let's go through the problems you missed here on this practice test for Unit 6. This first one, the computer is really picky about the graphing, and I think you actually had it okay, so I went ahead and gave you the points for that. So that one was okay. Let's go to the second one. So the second one says solve using the substitution method. It looks like you had 9, 0. But they're saying there is no solution, so let's go ahead and check that. Now using the substitution method, and then I'll show you how you also could have done it on the calculator. Here we have x plus y equals 9 and y equals 2 minus x. Now this second equation already has it solved for y, so we can plug 2 minus x in for y in the first equation. So we'd have x plus 2 minus x equals 9. Now notice what happens. We have x minus x, and that gives us, that cancels each other out, and we get 2 equals 9. Well, that doesn't even make any sense, right? That's nonsense. So that would tell you that there's no solution. Let's take a minute and see what that would look like on the calculator. So before we put this in a matrix, we're going to have x plus y equals 9, and I'm going to have to add the x over to the other side here so that we would have x plus y equals 2. Okay, so we're going to put this in a 2 by 3. Hold on just a second. Okay, we're going to put this in a 2 by 3 matrix. So this one has a matrix button already. Yours, you'll have to hit second matrix. We'll go over to edit, and so we're going to do a 2 by 3. Okay, so for this one right here, we're going to put 1, 1, 9. And for the second one, we'll have 1, 1, 2. Okay, so now we're going to hit, you'll have to clear out of here. Okay, and you're going to hit second matrix, go to math. We want RREF for reduced row echelon form. We're going to hit enter. And then we have to tell it that it's that matrix A, so you'll hit second matrix A. Okay, now notice this second line we get 0, 0, 1. And that's telling us that 0x plus 0y equals 1, which again doesn't make any sense. So whenever you have this bottom line here and it's zeros and then a number, that's going to give you an indication that there's no solution. Okay. We got for it, we're going to go to 3. So let me move down here. So this says about 250,000 people in a certain community live in the country. Of that number, 73,940 live in state A and state B. The number of people of that community in state B is 12,420 more than 3 times the number in state A. How many people of that community live in each state? Okay. Now, first of all, so we're talking about people living in state A and state B. So don't let that confuse you. Think of it like it was, Michigan and Ohio. So we have state A and state B. Now, the 250,000 people doesn't even matter in this problem at all. The first part that we want to look at is, it says, of that number, 73,940 live in state A and B. So we know the total number in A plus B is 73,940. Okay. Now, we need to look at the next line. It says the number of people of that community in state B, so B is equal to 12,420 more, so added to 3 times the number in A, so 3A. Okay? Now, you could use substitution on this, like we saw in the last problem, or we can put it in a matrix. So for the matrix in our calculator, we're going to use this top line for the first one. And for the second one, we're going to need to subtract 3a from both sides so that we have it in the same order. So we'll have minus 3a plus b is 12,420. So now in our calculator, we're going to change that matrix. Sorry, I've lost my mouse. There we go. Okay, so this is a 2 by 3. We've got 73,940. And then negative 3, 12,420. Okay, so now again we're going to quit out of here. Matrix over to math, down to RREF. We need to tell it it's matrix A. Okay, so this tells us you're going to go in order from left to right. So the top line tells you that 1A is 15,380, and the second line tells you that B is 58,560, which you can see were the correct answers here. Okay, so 5 here is a system of 3 equations, and this is another one. It's already set up so that we can put it right into a matrix. So here we will need to change this to a 3 by 4 matrix. And we're going to enter it. So 2, negative 4, 2, negative 6, 6, negative 12, 6, 18, 2, negative 2, negative 4, 4. Okay, so again, second quit. You'll go to your matrix, math, under RREF, matrix A. Okay, now, just like one we saw earlier, what number 2, this bottom line says 0, 0, 0, 1. And that would be like 0x plus 0y plus 0z equaling the number 1, which doesn't make sense. And so that tells you there's going to be no solution. Now, something to keep in mind, if it had been all zeros across the bottom line, that's when you have infinitely many solutions. Okay, so one more here, number 6. Let me see if I can make this a little smaller. There we go. I can move this down. So it says a 122,000 trust is to be invested in bonds paying 6%, CDs paying 5%, and mortgages paying 9%. The bond and CD investment together must equal the mortgage investment. To earn 8,710 annual income from the investments, how much should the bank invest in bonds? Okay, so we have 3 things here. We have bonds, we'll call those B. We have CDs, we'll use C. And mortgages, we'll have M. Now, we're told the very first thing that the total trust is 122,000. So we're going to have B plus C plus M is 122,000. Okay. The next line tells us that the bond and CD investment together must equal the mortgage investment. So B plus C must equal M. And then the last one tells us how much we want to get from the interest. We're told that $8,710 comes from the investment. So we're going to use the interest. So we're told that bonds have 6% interest, so we'll do 0.06 times B. Plus the CDs have 5%, so plus 0.5 C. Plus mortgages are 9%. And we want that investment to be $8,710. Okay, now the only equation, so to put it in our calculator, we'll leave this first one the same. For the second one, we're going to have to move the M over, so it'll be B plus C minus M equals 0. And then this last one can stay the same. Okay, so we will put this in our calculator. So 1, 122,000 minus 1, sorry, negative 1, make sure you're using the negative button, 0, 0.06, 0.05, 0.09, 8710. Okay, again, quit. We're going to do the RREF. Okay. And when we do this, so make sure you do second matrix RREF. I just did second entry and it put it in there for me. So the bonds would be this first one, 17,000, which is, you can see, is what they wanted. If it asked for the CDs, that would have been 44,000, and the mortgages was 61,000. Okay, so go over this video, try another practice test. Let me know if you have any other questions.